And now, the best 60-ish seconds of your week. And the long and winding road that led to primary election night 2022 is over, and the Republicans have Doug Mastriano as their nominee for governor with an over 40% primary election victory. The Senate race for Republicans is still too close to call. Literally razor-thin margin in that race between Dr. Oz and Dave McCormick. We'll let the recounters see what they come up with. But again, there are still problems with our election process. We've got to get those fixed because, as I said throughout the campaign, if we can't trust the results, there really are no winners. Abraham Lincoln, once upon a time, after one of his many electoral defeats, said, "I'm too old to cry, but it hurts too much to laugh." And I guess that's where we are today. Although, here's the thing. We left it all on the field. Every day of the campaign was a special pleasure. It really was. Moving around Pennsylvania, talking to voters about their concerns and talking about the real solutions to Pennsylvania's future was a marvelous thing. We didn't attack other Republicans. We didn't smear anybody. We were the happy warriors, all of us, and I'm very proud of that. Obviously, we were disappointed in the results, but when you consider what a bizarre campaign this was, in some respects, it's not terribly surprising, particularly with what went on the last few days of the campaign, with what the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette described as a pathetic attempt to try to rally everybody behind one candidate to beat Doug Mastriano. It simply didn't work. This campaign had two very, very interesting and anomalous situations. The first time in my memory that a candidate dropped out of the race twice. And the first time I can recall where another candidate was unendorsed twice. First by President Trump, and then by an organization he said was the be-all, the end-all, and going to drive him over the finish line with the millions of dollars they spent on him, who at the last minute said, he's out, somebody else is in. So when I say it was a bizarre race, we all know what I was talking about. And now on to other things. And this week there was at least one little glimmer of hope in the fact that the Department of Homeland Security's board to oversee disinformation is paused, I think effectively shut down, and its putative head resigned. This Jankowicz woman was an outrageous pick to do that in the first place. Somebody who had dished out disinformation of her own for years and who believed that anything conservatives or Republicans said was on its face disinformation. She's gone. The board apparently is shut down, but unfortunately, Secretary Mayorkas is still there. Perhaps the biggest disgrace in the Biden administration, and believe me, that takes some doing to grab that title. So let's hope that we can get some semblance of sanity back into the Department of Homeland Security, secure our borders, that might be a good thing to think about, and stop with the disinformation nonsense that they were going to attempt to head down to. And today marks the 147th running of the Preakness, a beautiful Pimlico racetrack in suburban Baltimore. If you've never been there, you owe it to yourself to go. I don't know whether they still let go on in the infield what used to go on there, but when I used to go and sit in the infield, folks there had no idea that there was a horse race going on. I eventually graduated to the grandstands and actually watched the ponies go around the track. Here's what's interesting. We didn't get a chance to talk much about the Kentucky Derby because we were focused on other things. And as you know, a huge upset there in the Kentucky Derby. The winner of that race is not running in the Preakness, which sets up a very interesting field. And the betting is heavy on Epicenter, who didn't finish where he wanted to in the Kentucky Derby, but is back at the Preakness with almost even money odds. Think about that. And who can say they're against early voting? One of the early favorites as well. And iconic D. Wayne Lucas takes secret oath to the Post, the winner of the Kentucky Oaks. But if you want a really long shot, because long shots did pretty well in the Kentucky Derby, a 50-1 Post Fenwick with a jockey in the saddle by the name of Giroux. How can you beat that? And for now, that is the best 60-ish seconds of your week.